People, take two. I mean, you do know that the Inquisition does like to restart and restart and restart because Instagram absolutely fucking loves us. And I hope you all had a great 2025. Oh, no, 2024. Fuck me, it's not even started yet. Well, it has started like 3 times and I'm fucking up already. But yeah, hi Sam, thanks for joining. Thanks to the last guardsman for joining. You're doing your regiment proud, standing there all by yourself, sacrificing yourself for the corpse god, as we all know, who doesn't really care about you. 1,000 souls, psychers. Guarantee you, I've not updated my Instagram app, which I wasn't expecting to do it on Instagram. There we go.
There we go.
There we
Hello.
go. Yeah.
Sorry, the internet hates me. Apparently, the entire internet hates me this evening. It's decided it just hates me. So
That's all right, mate. It's probably because you're English, but I'll not hold that against you. Do you know what I mean? Don't worry about it.
honestly, I'm going to blame the atmospherics. We've actually got quite a lot of snow, so I'm going to blame that because I'm out in the man cave's not a part of the house. I've got Wi-Fi, kind of trying to beam through the snow. I think at the moment it's causing atmospherics. So that's what I'm going to go with anyway. That's what allegedly that's what I'm going with.
Yeah, we'll go with that. It's just we'll mark that down as one of the excuses that people have used, and we'll hopefully never hear from again.
Yeah.
We'll just get your side check in now as well. Can you hear me? Okay.
I can hear you absolutely lovely, mate. Beautifully, in fact.
Perfect.
Oh, here he is.
Bonsoir, gentlemen. Bonsoir.
Bonsoir, Boise. All right, Boise.
All right.
So, Dave, thanks.
I've been sitting looking at Discord for the last 5 minutes.
We've just been having an absolute fucking disaster on all the platforms. So, like, it's just one of those fucking things. Like, yeah, guys, thanks very much for joining us tonight. We really appreciate you kicking off our 69th episode. Hey-oh.
Oh, jiggy.
We can't have not having an episode of 69 without some licking of brushes, because we'll lick a wee lick of a brush now and again. So I just want to say thanks for joining us tonight, gents.
Pleasure, mate. Pleasure.
No, and we've all got various stages of beard and hair as well, which is absolutely fantastic as well. It's brilliant to see.
We are the evolution of beard. That's what it is.
This is the stage of when you just learnt to grow your bum fluff out over here.
Just don't shove your face out any windows that get high winds that might blow off.
Exactly. That's why I live in London.
So, guys, I'm just going to kick it off with the first question that we ask everybody, and you can fight amongst yourselves who wants to answer first. So, what age were you both when you both get into the hobby, and what was the first thing that you painted?
Oh, you go first. Go on.
I assume you're talking to me.
Yeah.
Oh God, what got me into the hobby? Boys and their toys and little toy soldiers blowing stuff up in my head. What's more to say than that? Walking past the Games Workshop and thinking this looks fucking mega, then realising you can't really paint like that at all, can you? So that went down out the window pretty quick. But the first thing I painted was actually a Imperial Guardsman. A single Imperial Guardsman was the first thing I ever painted because I just thought grew up on loads of World War II movies. A Bridge Too Far, absolutely love it. And I just, loads of troops on the table. I painted about 2 and then I didn't have the patience for it. So the rest, my army was grey.
Fair.
And back when GW prices were pretty decent, to be fair, you'd pay like 50 quid and you get like a battle force. I remember you get like a basilisk, a chimera, and like a command squad, and something like two lots of troop, and like a heavy weapons team or something. Like proper decent prices, and it had like the old school art on there as well, which was really nice. But that was me, back in, I can't even remember when now. But then, as usual, everyone drops out the hobby, don't they? And they come back, and that's when I fully committed to it. When I had me wife, kind of, she had, like, she was with me. She was in long term. I dropped the hobby down. Like I said, babe, yeah, she used to do this when I was younger. 6 years in, so it's like she loves me now. I've got no reason to get out of the relationship. Yeah, mid divorce at the moment. No, I'm joking. We're not. Another baby I'm just feeding now.
That dad hammer to the extreme once again.
I know, yeah, baby in arms, literally. Could just be like this, really. Just sit here like that.
I thought that's what you were doing.
episode 69, including tip.
Oh yes, just the tip.
Just the tip, yes, tip, obviously tip, yeah, not tip. I'll have a go. I'll have a go at answering. So, I mean, I technically had some like Lord of the Rings Warhammer when I was like 30, like probably 12, 13. But I didn't ever really paint them or really know what I was doing. I didn't ever play a game with them. I kind of just had the models.
Yes.
I think so I kind of felt like I was going to get in it. And then around kind of like 12, 13, you all of a sudden decide that girls are actually quite cool and you like them. So kind of decided that kind of the hobby straight out very early doors. And annoyingly, got rid of all my Warhammer stuff over the years, and now I'm having to buy it all back, which is the worst thing. At 9 times probably the price of what my mum and dad got it for. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, I properly actually started doing the hobby. I think my missus actually had a thing pop up on her phone the other day. So it was like March 2020. So just as lockdown, well, maybe April 2020 when lockdown happened, I kind of sat there and went, I need something to do in the evenings rather than just play video games and watch TV for the next however long we're sitting in COVID and stuff. And then decided that I picked up some Space Marines to do some Space Wolves. And then, yeah, kind of just snowballed into that. And now I've got most of a local game store in my hobby space and a whole hobby space dedicated to this, really. So, yeah, I've been doing it for 5 years almost madly come April. So yeah, that's how I got in and what I started with. The first thing I ever painted, I do have my first things I ever painted. Yeah. I've still got it. Yeah, they're in my cabinet. All my Space Wolf stuff over here. I could probably find it. To be fair, was a Space Wolf Primaris Intercessor, and it is fucking shit. I'm assuming I can swear, by the way, but there is no other way of kind of deciding it. There was no two thin coats. There was no idea about washes. There was no idea about what paint should be being used. It was just, I'll have a bash at this. It's meant to be blue with a bit of yellow and a bit of other stuff. So, yeah, I've kept all 10 actually. I've actually got all 10 inserts that I first painted. I've actually got them hidden at the back of the shelf. Just in case I ever really want to look back and go, oh, maybe I can semi-paint now. So, yeah.
You know, if you look back at it now, right, because we've all got rid of like stuff when we were younger, and it's now coming back like Warhammer and vinyl. You know, wish you just slapped yourself because I get rid of a shit ton of vinyl because I'm in my 40s now, so like I grew up with cassettes and vinyl.
Yeah.
And now I'm trying to find these albums that I put in a charity shop, and they're like fucking 80, 90 quid now. It's a fucking joke.
I'm fully kicking myself. I'd fall for Straw in Army. Fucking tears. Someone just kicked me in the nuts. Felt it.
Yeah.
So how do you two know each other?
We all right for swearing?
Oh yeah,
yeah. So I know you're chucking it up on YouTube as well. So I'm just like, don't want to get you in the hole there.
Nah, you're fine, man. So how do you two know each other then?
I just keep looking through Matt's window every evening. Now he finally accepted me.
But only when I'm changing, though. It's really odd. But no, we weirdly got talking to each other. So I worked. I started working with Rach, the Warhammer girl. Like she came and joined the company I was working for. So I kind of knew her, and she came to work for my company that I worked for. And then she was doing like a hobby hangout thing with like there was like Quipster and Lady Kane and what's her face back in the day, Helena, and all that. We had a hobby hangout thing, and Sean was in like a group chat where we were organising it and stuff. And we just got chatting on the group chat.
Snuck in there.
Yeah.
Don't know how I made it. You know what I mean?
Slid into the DMs, didn't he? Proper slid into the DMs, like sliding everywhere. And we just got chatting. Yeah. Friends. It's quite cool. You like do you like hobbies too? So we ended up getting talking. And to be fair, right? How long were we talking for before we decided we were going to meet up for a game? A while?
Yeah, a fair while. Yeah, good while.
Give you what, about 6 months at least? Would you say?
Yeah,
At least 6 months, right? The best bit is the day we were meeting up to play a game at Badminton Cafe for the first time. I had to message Sean to say, sorry, I've realised I've never actually asked your name. We spent 6 months talking to each other, and we hadn't actually. He knew my name was Matt. I hadn't asked him his name because we'd just been chatting about hobby stuff the whole time for 6 months, like over chat. And I went, I'm really sorry, like your name? He's like, oh, it's Sean. It was like really. It was like, I can't believe we haven't had that conversation. It was just like because it was just so like
to just go like
into it. Yeah.
I was the same with Casey because I was sending Casey stuff and I was like, I might send you some
dick pics.
Chaos Marines and some dick pics. What's your address? And he went, I know it's Casey Penge. He went, no. Penge is where I'm from and Casey's my last name. And I was like, well, what's your first name? And he's like, Michael. And I was like, what's this Michael bullshit all about?
Mate, it's nuts. I think it's one of those things when you get chatting to people sometimes, and you just kind of click. Sometimes you just don't think about it, and because obviously we haven't necessarily like me and Sean don't really get to see each other as much as we like because we do live quite far apart, and like in terms of just we kind of pop around and see each other. So talking away and having like texting and stuff, you just forget to what like it was just such a weird thing. But we just like we assumed we just knew each other's names. I think that was just such a weird thing.
Yeah, I don't have it in my profile as well.
Yeah. Well, there is that. Yeah, there is that. Just to really throw me out. But yeah, and then obviously, what was it? Like, probably another 6 months after that, we were like, well, actually, at that game, it was like, can we just do a podcast, like jokingly? And they were like, yeah. And they went, oh. Yeah, maybe we should. Maybe we could do a podcast. That'd be fun. And then here we are. You chatting to us.
we bounced ideas off each other because I think it was you that told me about Chris Tester to try and get him on. And I think, and it was if it wasn't for years I wouldn't have heard about him and thanks for you to bringing him on. Like, so it was just good. I think we started our podcast at roughly at the same time as well.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, we definitely did. Yeah, so because I remember having that chat with you about it and saying about it. I think it's definitely what I like about the hobby and stuff. Like, also we chat to you guys, chat to like First Rank who does his podcast.
Good old Ben.
Good old Ben. Yeah, it sounds like Sean games with ADR, like with like Middle Earth stuff. He used to do like all the Conclave stuff as well. So. Obviously, I spoke to Rachel's their podcast and Lady Kane, like Chloe and stuff, used to do stuff. And I think everyone, it's nice that everyone like who does the podcast is like kind of talk to each other. Like we kind of all speak and stuff, and there's no like competition or like rivalry. It's just like we're all just putting content out there, which I love. That there's people have got so much content now that they can listen to whatever they want to, and I think that's the important thing. It's just that everyone's going to have what they like. We're us, which is just chaotic, and we'll just record when we feel like it.
Yeah.
And
isn't it? That's the biggest thing about it.
Yeah. This is it. We just try to just be us and just let everyone just enjoy the hobby, really, like, and in our own way, and just like you guys do, like you just say you see it, and I think that's why we can't resonate with you guys, and in that sense, for sure.
Yeah, I think that's important, though, isn't it? It's like, sorry. Jumping in. This is what me and Dunk do. We always just talk over each other. It's great fun. We've all got our different ways of doing things. Like you're mentioning Ben, everyone else that's out there podcasting away. Everyone's got their own little unique style of doing something.
Yeah.
And we might interview the same guests, but we'll interview them like 10, 20 different ways.
Yeah.
Which I think is a big, big deal. We're not all just sitting there asking the same questions every time, which I think you do find in a lot of like podcast and hobby spaces. So when we've got someone and we say, all right, what's your favourite soup? And you have Peachy sitting there like, what the fuck are you talking about? But it works, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I to be fair, I agree. So I'm just reading this comment. I'm just going to say I agree with him.
I would say you're not just a cunt in your streams, but you're actually a cunt in real life as well. And that's why you're in America.
It's not just virtual. It's not just virtual.
Fucking joke.
Fucking plastic fucking American over there. I'm letting it in there before he calls me a plastic paddy. I mean, it is quite hard to like coordinate because, like, obviously me and Casey live in different countries, so it's even harder for us. And we've never met each other, and I hope that we never will meet each other because we're actually chatting about this. Is like
Because one
imagine
of
we
you's
all
actually AI.
we
And he don't actually exist.
actually all meet up and we have like 15 minutes of chatting about models, and then like we're on our phones and going, I'm at my wife, why the fuck did I come over to England to meet these cunts? These are boring as fuck. Like, I just want to come home. There's that fear as well. So I understand how hard it is for like kind of get things organised and that. But it is worth it though.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, like we try and just do what we can. Like Sean and I have both got like young families and stuff now. Like we both had like kids this year. Like my daughter's almost just turned one. Obviously Sean's just had a little one as well. So we've both had kids in
Sucker for
2024.
punishment, mate.
Yeah.
No.
No. We decided like we had one. It's
More
two.
expensive
Obviously
than
going to be
Von
fine.
Bitch in that, though, I tell you.
Yeah, mate, 100%. Like, yeah, it turns out young kids and hobby doesn't necessarily go massively hand in hand, especially if you're trying to run a podcast as well. But
Yeah.
we've done our best.
I want to be mega insta famous, and I want all the free shit. Okay, how dare they interrupt my fucking podcast?
Yeah, unfortunately, Sean hasn't got the beard for it. That's why we've not gone big yet as well. So
Yeah, when it grows to about an inch, then we're all right.
Is that what your wife says as well?
Oh, you
But, like,
bastard, you nicked it. I was just about to say it.
You know what?
One of the girls
That's what my sister says. I mean, what?
One of the girls was speaking to me about my podcast yesterday, and she's like, so you just sit in your living room painting your wee figures? And I was like, aye. And she went, well, what does your wife do? I was like, oh, she sits and crochets. I says, when you've been with your partner for 20 years and all the sex is done, you can't do anything more sexually horrible to each other. You end up just picking up hobbies. And she's getting married this year, and I was like, that's what you have to look forward to.
I mean, it's just kind of what happens. Like, you just kind of find things to not have to talk to your wife. No. To be fair,
Love you, baby.
I've got two stations. I've got my like actual hobby space and my like area, and then I've got like a little setup table that I can take like, and I've always got like a box. Yeah, agreed. Sorry, this in the comment. Agreed. So I've got like a little box of stuff that I just can like quickly whip in. Like, I always got a couple of models. I can just chuck in a box, few paints, and I can just take it indoors on like a little like fold up table. So then sometimes I'm just watching TV
from
with
your local gaming store that you've got in your garage.
Yeah. I'll take it out of the local gaming store. If anyone wants to come down, there's great deals on everything in here at the moment. So
Matt literally has a fucking shop. He has converted his garage into a shop. I tell you.
Do you want a quick tour?
Yeah,
show us around your garage, mate. Get your garage out.
We'll have a really quick tour. Let me turn my camera around. Hang on.
A cheap MTV Cribs fucking episode now.
In a house like this.
Right. So this is the entrance in and out. There's
nice.
two fridges there with alcohol and stuff in, which is great.
Yes.
Toilet, obviously. You need a toilet just in case you don't have to go back indoors as well. Important.
Bougie, mate.
Yeah, exactly.
Downstairs toilet is life changing.
Mate, I live in a bungalow, so there's everything's downstairs, so it's fine.
Well, if you live in London, you could probably rent that out for about £1,000 a day.
Well, I live in Kent, unfortunately, so I can probably only get about 800, so it's fine.
No. Depending on where you are in Kent, as long as it ain't Chatham, you're looking at a grand.
I'm not far from Chatham, so. Whoops.
Show us the stock. Let's see your stock, mate.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I've got the 3D printer and stuff as well, and in there, and I've got my cases, and then I've got like all this stuff here. There's a lot of there's stuff up there and there, and then there's like boxes down there, and then there's like loads on that shelf still like built but not painted, and then loads behind here and whiskey to soothe myself, and then basically loads of stuff essentially. So if anyone ever wants any these are full of bits. So if everyone wants any bits of Spaceballs, Admech, Orcs, anything like probably half the OS armies, Middle Earth, I've probably got some bits. So if anyone wants some cheaper bits and all the Bob stores, hit me up. Got loads.
Well, we're always interested in plugging new ventures, so there you go.
Yeah.
He
didn't show off, but he's literally got a fucking chapel in there somewhere. You've basically got a mini Vatican City, mate.
Oh, to be fair, yeah, I've actually tidied away all of my terrain, and it's in the front part of the garage on like a big shelf, and all my terrain's in there. So this is even everything I've got in here, and I haven't got my table in here at the moment. Like, I've got a foldable like gaming like 6x4 table as well to play things on. So that's not in here at the moment as well. So I've got like an amazing hobby space. But at the same time, it's terrifying because I've literally got a desk, and I must have on my desk of that just on my desk over 100 models are unpainted and just primed at the moment. And so, yeah,
I couldn't have looked at
Is
100
time not painted though? Do you know what I mean? Like they're just invisible in the night sky. Do you know what I mean?
it is a genuine problem I've got. To be fair, I've started to sell stuff. To be fair, so I kind of thin it out because of like yesterday I sold like a Gandalf because I've got two, and who needs two Gandalfs? So it's little things like that I've been doing.
White and grey, mate. Come on.
Yeah,
Well, no, to be fair,
that's a fair point.
I had two whites, so you can't have two whites on the same table anyway. So just talk about we're talking about wizards and nothing about race. Just to clarify. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Yeah, you do live in Kent. Make sure that's out there.
Yeah. I just need to make sure that no one thinks I'm being racist because I'm not. So just to clarify, I'm talking about Gandalf the whites and Gandalf the
Is
grey.
that not?
Thank you.
Is that not the motto of a racist? I'm not racist because I've got a black friend. Do you know what I mean? That is like.
To be fair, I'm not far from Farage country, so
Yeah.
I I have to be careful. I have to fight them off.
I'm sure you'd be up for two Gandalfs, Tiz. You'd probably be up for three Gandalfs and maybe a wee bobbin in there as well.
Who doesn't love a Gandalf though? To be fair, my favourite Gandalf. I keep seeing things like Gandalf the Grey on his cart and stuff like that. Keep getting tempted. Just to be fun to do, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I like the model. It's a nice little model, actually.
Lovely little model.
So I'm going to jump in quick with a question there because I like getting involved in the life aspect of hobbying and stuff. Like, you both have touched on the fact that you're relatively new parents, and you probably saw me disappear off for a little while because my 5-year-old came down with floods of tears about some old bollocks. It doesn't get any better, lads. I'm sorry, I'll tell you now. But how have you found the adjustment of trying to balance youngsters, getting your hobby time in, doing your usual life as well? Because for me, I found it a little bit struggle.
Well, before we come on this podcast, mate, my 4-year-old dad had the shits and shat everywhere. So, yeah, mate, it's going all right. It's going pretty good, to be fair. Yeah, no problems at all.
See, before you answer this question, I just want to state one fact that Casey's got it a lot easier than either of you. Because if you've got a daughter, you're basically, from the age of 12 to when she gets out the house, you're a cock goalie. You know what I mean? You're trying to stop cocks. You're actually a real life cock. And I've got 3 daughters, and I've got a granddaughter, so I'm a cock goalie veteran. Do you know what I mean? It's fucking horrendous. Whereas Penn just got a son, he can just send him out to fucking sow his wild oats, and you're trying to stop that on the other side. So Casey doesn't know what's going on, and then when the periods and the hormones start, Jesus fucking Christ.
Jesus, don't give him a nice warm up for it.
Basically, you're a cock goalie. That's basically if you've got a daughter, you're a cock goalie, and that's your life's over now.
Well, cheers, mate. As the right, I'll pick me up. I'll tell you. I'm gonna go now, and I don't know when I'll see you next.
You'll have a beard though. That's the thing. It'll help you grow a beard.
That's true. Wait until I grow up.
When you're a real boy,
10 years older, I'll be there with you lads.
Mate, I'm not looking forward to that. I've got a son and a daughter, so yeah, Christ alive. The daughter's already have one. She's just about to turn 1, so yeah, thanks, Dan. That's really made me look forward to the next 11 years in preparation.
Well,
to be fair,
I always do say, mate, you are the old hobby hubby. So if I was brave enough, I would.
All right, thanks, mate. That's very kind of you. Very kind of you.
No worries. It's a pleasure. Run away together.
We probably should answer the question.
Question, actually, sorry.
There was a question.
How are you finding adapting to hobbying and dadding at the same time?
I think it definitely you have to be a bit more practical, I think, in terms of being able to accept you might only get half an hour. So before I had kids, it'll be like I could sit there all evening, like do like 3, 4, 5 hours, whatever. Weekends you can do what you want and that sort of thing. I think it's just saying like, look, even if you do 10, 15 minutes of painting, or I tend to find a lot of my hobby actually now might be that I'm on Discord chatting to people in the hobby, or I'm on Instagram, or I'm replying to comments, or I'm consuming podcasts, or listening to Sean whittling on about something. So like, even his daughter hates the hobby now. But I mean, it's definitely tough. Like it's tough. But I think it's just taking the wins where you can get them.
Yeah, definitely. I think you're right. It's looking at what you can do and as and when. Like it doesn't. You can't. You know, you're not going to get 5 hours of sitting down there and doing something solid. So just taking your 15, 20 minutes. It does get better.
Yeah, 100%. And I think with it as well, like realistically, like I don't know. Obviously, like, about myself, I'm a bit more like mindful about how long I spend painting a single model, because I actually want to get more done. So I'm not going to paint everything to like try and do like golden demon or anything, or really like the best of my ability.
Yeah,
I might spend more time on like character models, but troops and stuff. Like when I started getting into like using like contrast paints, and like I've got an airbrush and stuff, and airbrushing for like tanks and larger stuff has been really helpful for my speed. Just having a bit of time to be like, I can quickly blast this out and get it done really quickly, rather than going, oh, I'm going to glaze this on, and I'm going to make sure I get all that edge highlight. And like edge highlight went out of the window as soon as kid 1 came, so that's fucking out of the window. So if you have kids, edge highlighting's gone. Heavy metal style, don't start if you're going to have kids anytime soon. There's no point. Just like I've just been more practical, like a bit of slap chop here and there, like that type of thing. And you like I said, you adapt your style, you do what works for you. I'm a nightmare because I buy loads of different armaments, because I'm a bit like I'm a magpie. I see like a nice shiny thing and I go after it. But I think I tend to think like, look, just take what I can get. Like if I get half an hour, great. If I get 2 hours, amazing. I do a lot when the kids go to sleep, because my kids are normally asleep by like 7:30, 8. But like I said, I've always got my little box of paints and like a couple
I'll
of
be back
little,
in a bit sexy, boys. I'm still going to stay here, don't worry, but I need to make a bottle. So 2 minutes.
And it's not alcohol for change.
That's what I say. It's not correct.
Yeah, I'll sit there and drink my bottle of cider. Hello, Ash. It's Ash. Hello, Ash. But yeah, it's definitely one you have to just adapt. Basically, like I think that's the hardest thing. I think a lot of people probably struggle with it. There's a lot when we actually look at like the demographic. You can like literally look at the demographics on things like Instagram and stuff like that, and you look at the people age-wise that kind of like welcome to our podcast and stuff. A lot of those people are kind of like primary like young kids age. Like you got a lot of people from 25, 34 up to like mid 40s and stuff, and you go, those guys probably are resonating with the fact that they get a bit of hobby in. They can listen to the podcast when they're painting or on the way to work, or like walking the dog or doing whatever. And I think that's why we kind of aim it to be that kind of thing, that you're getting a bit of hobby in. It's a bit of a laugh. We're not sitting there talking about the meta, about who's got the best character model on, and if you stack this stratagem on this stratagem, this stratagem equals win. So we're not really about that kind of vibe. We're more just how can we consume the hobby in a nice, fun, easy way that everyone kind of gets, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It does. Exactly the same for us. Like we're not going to sit here and chew people's ears off. We're not a rules thing. We don't care about rules.
Yeah.
Who's the person?
Yeah. Exactly. There's loads of things out there that are doing all that. You've got all those amazing channels out there. The Vanguard Tactics of the world and All Specs Tactics, all those YouTube videos and all that jazz. Like we're here to just talk about what I would argue real life hobbying. Yeah, what real life hobbying's about. Because we're like our like podcast and the type of people that we like probably talk to and how we kind of resonate. It's probably 8% of the hobby. That's to be perfectly honest with you. There's a lot of people who get to play and probably do tournaments, but let's be honest, we're the silent many who probably don't get involved and kick off about the rules changing, and we care about is what new models are coming out that I probably should not be buying. And so yeah, that's kind of what it's like, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I've been quite vocal on how shite that new Death Guard model looks, but I know that I'm actually probably not going to fucking buy it anyway. And it will sit there in a box for about a year. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I'm like you. Like if I thought first, do you want to go to the Warhammer shop? It takes me I can't say no, and then it takes me all my time to fucking try not to buy something, and that's impossible.
That's the thing. Like, as much as you've been bashing on about that Death Guard, I looked at it. I was like, Dunk's still going to buy the bastard.
Yeah,
Like, doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it happens, mate. It happens. I haven't. I've literally had no. I'm not gonna lie. I've had no interest in 40k pretty much all year. Like I've had no interest in it, like at all. I've been either AOS or Middle Earth. So it's the only thing that's like might tempt me back into doing 40k at this moment in time, even though I've got loads of 40k stuff that's still good, is Space Wars, like the new Space Wars stuff that's going to be coming. So,
sexy boy.
yeah, I know the Krieg stuff, but like it's I've already got loads of Krieg on the shelf. I've got like all the resin forge roll stuff I haven't even painted. Like I paid stupid money for, like really. Now they're going to come out in plastic and they're going to be like a tenner, because everyone's going to buy it and sell loads of stuff on. Actually, can we right really quickly? How shit is a new box when you think about
Yes.
Krieg? Right?
Yes.
Can we all jointly agree on this? It's really bad. The new
What is
box.
Engineers, right? With the
It's 5 engineers and then a load of fucking Death Riders. 'Cause obviously, everyone knows that Krieg are all about Death Riders because they've got loads of them apparently. Because you need loads of Death Riders when you're fighting in trenches apparently.
Yeah.
And then they've got that one field gun. And I'm like, are they really trying to pass this off as a genuine box? I guarantee the value's probably all right. If you're all really getting into, if you've read up about Krieg and you're trying to get into Krieg, you're not buying that box. That has got to be a hardcore veterans box. That's it, surely.
Yeah, so as well, it's the new character, the horses, your 5 guys, one cannon and the rulebook. I mean, primarily people will just buy it for the fancy rulebook, but it looked trash.
Yeah.
I was actually a bit angry about it. Like, I've read a little bit about the Krieg, I know a little bit about the Krieg. Lore-wise, I'm down with the World War I German aesthetic. It looks sick.
Yeah, it's good.
But it's such a letdown.
Yeah, it's not. I'm not feeling it. Like it's not. I'd rather just get the rule book and then maybe pick up the book as and when. We know, like we speak to Aiden, who's what's he on it? He's Nevermore Minis, and he's got like one of the best, most beautiful Krieg armies you've probably on the internet.
Really nice.
It's absolutely beautiful. Yeah, beautiful. If you haven't seen it, go and check it out. And remember speaking to him about it and recently, and he's just like, I'm not going to get him. Like he's got like probably the best Krieg army out there. And he's like, I'm not going to get him. Like I don't like. He goes, they're lovely models. I might pick up some of them, but I've already got enough. Like for me, who's a massive Krieg person, I'm not going to buy that box. There's no point. Like I've already got Death Riders. I've already got engineers. I've made myself. I've already got like that character. I might pick up like second hands, but I'm not buying it just for the fancy cover to spend like an absolute fortune. So yeah, it's a bit of a.
To be fair, I don't think it's even targeted at veteran players, to be honest, because I think it's targeted at people who wouldn't really know about Krieg, who have been swept up in like the 2018 kind of push of like Warhammer in general. Because I feel like from 2018 when 8th edition hit, that's when everyone kind of got back into it, and then the pandemic hit. GW becomes the most profitable country probably in the country. Do you know what I mean? So it's just all these things taken into account, and people might not know a lot about the Krieg anyway. So plastics, perfect entry for them.
Okay.
Do you mind keeping noise then?
It does feel like a lot of the new boxes as well do tend to be targeted for people that haven't been in it as long and don't have everything.
Yeah.
Like, I've always loved the old resin Krieg one. I had the old Commissar with the saber over his shoulder. I've lost it somewhere. But that was such a beautiful mini. Yeah. And I think the new one doesn't touch it.
No, I don't definitely. I think there is, and like we've talked about it on our pod quite a lot. Like we're massive fans of like the AOS models over 40k. I think there's a lot more imagination goes into the AOS ones, and I don't know if that's because they feel they've got more freedom in the sense of because they're probably going to get more backlash probably of the 40k community in terms of that's not how this should look or that can't be right. Yeah. I mean, everyone's minds melted with the fact there was a fucking female custodes, which don't get me on that stage. I'll be on a fucking rant about people being such idiots about the entire thing. But
I've said it for a long time. Wait till they find out about the female Primarch that's coming. People will lose their shit, and it will be so fucking funny.
Mate, Like, it's the whole thing like blew my mind. Like we like Sean made a reel, and it went absolutely fucking massively viral. Like we put on our page, and some of the comments on that were just like, I ended up just fucking deleting a load of comments and stuff because it was like, but not before I fucking went in, like loads of people, because the whole thing was just absolute fucking bullshit. Like, we're talking about plastic soldiers and about something that doesn't actually fucking exist, and everyone's like getting weighing in as if it was like life and death like stuff going on, and I just couldn't believe it really. Like, it just got to the point where I was just like, what is going on? It's absolutely wild. So yeah, I mean, I think it's, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to divulge back off that before we get into a rant, but yeah, AOS is loads better in terms of models. I really like their AOS models. I think they because it's more fantasy, and they've got a really nice, cool player base, and you've got some really, like, I find a lot of AOS players are quite cool. People I spoke to and stuff. They've got some amazing models. Like, look at all the Skaven stuff, the Seraphon stuff, the Lisbon stuff is absolutely gorgeous. They've got this beautiful models they've released time after time.
The Nordro stuff is really nice. I've started painting a few Nordro Age of Sigmar stuff.
Yeah, mate.
And they're
100%.
fucking nice. Like, I did a kind of Blanca Street Fighter type guy with a meat cleaver. It's fucking great model. Like,
you know
they're amazing. Yeah. They're so good. I think that they've really. Also, they're probably different design teams and stuff, for sure. And you can definitely tell. I think there's just something. I feel like they've got so much more freedom on that side than they have in the 40k. So, and I don't know that that's because they're maybe thinking long term in terms of the IP and the TV stuff as well. Like, also you had the Inquisitor Coates who came out, and that was like, everyone was like, how does it even look like? The book was there, and it's like, is that the same guy? It looked like someone had like kit bashed it really from like a load of stuff, really. So yeah, I think definitely. I think that's what's kind of pushed me away from kind of 40k is the models in particular. Yeah, I think that I love my stuff. I've got my lovely Tanith army that is probably my pride and joy. I put together and like customized and kit bashed it all. But yeah, definitely finding that. Yeah, I'm not. It's going to take me a lot. It's going to be reeled back in, I would say, to 40k at this moment in time. Just not feeling it.
We've had someone on before who and it makes perfect sense to me that the problem with 40k, I suppose, compared to like AOS now, and even thinking back to old fantasy stuff, is that people have become so infatuated and ruled by what the law says.
Yeah,
they can't let go of it. Like the old concept of headcanon, I think was the term they used.
Yeah,
is dead. Like, because back in the day, playing 40k in like 4th, 5th, and 6th edition, it was just a case of here's some law and make up whatever the fuck you want to go along with.
Yeah.
And now, because the Horus Heresy's come along and all of this has happened and everything's now so structured, the audience has bitten into it and just gone with it and saying, this is what they say has to happen. And no one's just sort of going, well, you know what, I'm going to paint these blue and call them Raven Guard, fuck you.
Yeah. And there's definitely that, because you've got the people who like live and breathe by like, and it's great that you get people who are really passionate about the hobby and stuff, and it's good in the sense that we have like a really good and passionate and growing fan base, but you've got to realise that it's still fucking toy soldiers about a made up universe that doesn't fucking exist, and a lot of the lore in the first place was all like taking a piss out of rhetoric about various historical moments or people, right? So I think it's just kind of taking it for what it is, which is like a bit of a joke. And I think obviously like I'm doing loads. Me and Sean in particular are doing loads of like Middle Earth stuff, like the Lord of the Rings stuff, and it's just fun. Like a lot of that stuff is like the armies they've put together. Like this was mentioned maybe once in a book snippet, and we've got a model for it, and you can do whatever. There's loads of scenarios. But you can basically do what you want. It's so much more chilled out. Like the player base seems so much more chill about. Yeah, that's cool. Like that's fine. That's like, even though bear in mind it's Lord of the Rings and there's lore about everything and everyone knows everything about everything in Lord of the Rings. Everyone's so much more chill in it. I tend to find about the things like we're gonna play this scenario. They're like, that would never have happened. You're like, oh, let's see what happens then.
Yeah.
Like, that's how I find it, right? So it's definitely different in that sense.
It's an old sort of what if scenario. Like I always remember reading books when I did history in school. It's like, what if, like, instead of crossing the Alps, they went across the mountains? What if they did this and this and this? And that's what I love about Lord of the Rings, that you've got all the scenarios, they've given you all the armies. Like you say, something's like, we've mentioned this Haradrim guy once, but you know what? Here's a mini of him. Go mad. And it is just a case of, like you said, someone's like, well, these two armies never fought in the books, but let's see what happens and fuck it. And that's what's fun about it. Like,
see, but you're saying that, but seeing a TV show, are people not up in arms about female ops or something in the TV show?
Don't start.
I mean, so like, I know what you're saying, like, but there is a wee bit of toxicity, and people will go mental. Oh, they never mentioned that. Like,
I think that's more on the so like, if you look at like Middle Earth hobby in terms of Warhammer stuff, it's very good community, like really sound, from what I've experienced so far. I think the negative stuff comes a lot from the Rings of Power and people being like, oh, this, we don't like this, because obviously Amazon have obviously commercialized it. They've been given the rights to it, and they've got the rights, and they had to use the rights as well. And they've just commercialized it, and they've kind of tweaked stuff, and that would have never happened. Or and obviously they've spent an enormous amount of money on the series. I think one of the criticisms was like, oh, that in 2000 and what was it? When did Lord of the Rings films come out? Like 2002, like 2001, and they were like, they spent like £1 billion on this back then. I was like, £1 billion then compared to £1 billion now is like not even comparable. Like it's probably like a third of the budget, and then people are taking it saying, oh, the Numenorians, their armor's rubbish in the Rings of Power. Like it would never look at that. I was like, they've spent the same amount of money as they did in Lord of the Rings, but £1 billion is not the same as £1 billion now. So they actually don't have the same budget as that film series. You can't compare it, and I think there's the toxicity there is very much, they're not sticking exactly to how the things happen in kind of like the books, and they've put people who are of different ethnicities or genders or whatever into the story, and I'm like, it's just an interpretation of the story. It's not the story. Like, it's just an interpretation of the story. Like, it's not. You can, if you want to ignore the fact that someone, like, there's an elf that may be a different race, like, it doesn't really matter, right? So I think you're always going to get that. If any fan base, like Star Wars, Star Trek, like anything, any Marvel, DC, Lord of the Rings, Warhammer, like, because there's so much stuff now in the, like, lore and stuff like that, you're always going to get those who are the people who think they're defending the true way.
I think that's a fair comment, actually. And I get what you were aiming at, Dunk, but I think the main thing with the what-ifery that surrounds a tabletop war game of here's one army, here's another army, have a fight. You know, that's a little different to, like you say, an interpretation or anything, because people play bolt action in the World War II games, and the Americans and the Soviets never shot at each other, but they'll quite happily say, oh, what happened if the Americans went past Berlin and stuff like that. So it's I think with the wargaming side of thing, the what-ifery is always a little bit more tongue-in-cheek, I think would be a way of sort of saying it and describing it. Like, everyone knows they're just having a bit of fun. So you know, you can take it on the chin a bit more.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Yeah, that's how I see it. I think it's just everyone realizing that it's a hobby. It's not like, for the vast majority of people, it's not their livelihood, and even for the people it is their livelihood, like most of the people who are streaming content and stuff, they're not looking at it from the point of view of, I must be a defender of the law. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're all kind of just doing, like, even if you get someone like Luton who does all of his amazing law videos and goes into the most unbelievable depth, and we'd love to get Luton on just to have a chat to him. I'd love to get him on. But like, he's not sitting there going, that would never happen. He's just like this, and he openly talks about it now, has to update his videos all the time because the law keeps changing, and he goes, this is the law now, and doesn't really, he's like, it's what it is. Like, it's not like he's sitting there going, this is ridiculous, I know everything about every single aspect of the law. He's not like melting. This is the guy who probably knows arguably the most about the law probably ever, and he's proper chill about it. So that's why I would say that you should view it is it's ever changing. It's always going to change. It's going to change with the times. It's going to evolve. Like we don't live in 1986 anymore.
I think Luton said in one of his first videos that I remember watching was that you've got to look at Warhammer and the lore from the perspective that someone's narrating the story who might not necessarily be telling you the truth.
Yeah.
And that kind of hones in with Big E, the Emperor of Mankind.
Yeah.
He never told any. He knew that gods existed, but he kept that from everybody. And it feels as though that's the way and I think that's why the 40k lore is actually quite good in a way, because things can change because it's from somebody else's perspective. So when people start, because when people were, I'm not going to go back on the female custodies thing, but when people were complaining about, I can't have a female custodies, I checked the lore, and at one point you had a space, an ultramarine half elf, half human hybrid.
Yeah.
And when you mention that to people, like, but that was years ago. It's changed since then. Yeah, well, you can't pick and choose what you want. It's like reading the Bible. You can't pick and choose what you want to take and what you can't take.
Yeah.
I mean, and then be angry when somebody else changes it, because that's what happens.
Yeah, 100%. And it's all, like I said earlier, it's all a lot of the stuff is an interpretation of and the people's viewpoints of stuff. Like, as they always say, like history is written by the victors, and things aren't what you read isn't always true. We all of our most of human history is based on what certain people wrote, and a lot of that is from one viewpoint, like the Romans or the Greeks, or for whatever reason, like we get a certain viewpoint, we don't get it from another viewpoint quite often. So it's no different in relation to kind of like in terms of law, like really, like you're seeing it from like even when what was it, the first line of the Horus Heresy, and it's from I can't remember the guy's name, Kyraman, whatever his name, Cryptman, whatever his name is, and he's like, I was there the day
Horus for the Emperor.
Yeah, he's a Horus for the Emperor, and that's from his point of view. So immediately you've got it from one person's point of view. You've not got it from anyone else's point of view. That is one point of view you're getting it from. So you're getting snippets of stuff from here and there, from different points of view, and that's how things are. So I think you just got to view it with a pin of salt. Like, not everything is like life and death. It is
hobby, man.
It is.
It's fucking like when we had Graham McNeil on the first time. I asked him about, because they kept mentioning the lost primates and the lost legions, and I was like, do you ever think that something will come out about that? And he said, I think he turned around and said that we were actually told to stop mentioning the lost legions because it was starting to get so much more questions about who are the lost legions, who are these primates, why did the Ultramarines get like 50,000 extra soldiers and then everybody else, that they were told by Black Library News what's up to actually stop. But see, going back to your point about the models, you can only go so far with Space Marine models, because if you look at Space Marine models now, it's extra pouches, extra grenades. Whereas like AOS and Age of Sigmar, which is AOS, and Lord of the Rings, you can fuck about so much with monsters and Nurglings and like rats and all that. Do you know what I mean? I'm actually looking at the models are actually better. I love 40k, but the models are better because there's so much freedom.
Yeah, definitely. I think there is so much freedom. I think that it's so much better. Like, and I feel like obviously they brought out the Votan, which was good for 40k, but I don't think it was necessarily my personal opinion on that was they probably should have brought out a different type of army for 40k before they did Votan. I know that obviously there's a lot of people screaming out for it in that sense, but I think they needed to bring out another race or something which was totally different, which they could just go, fuck it, we can do whatever we want with. We can have a really unique faction which isn't the same, because you can even look at Votan and be like, well, some of their armor is kind of quite similar to like the Tau, for example. You can see how it's like that similar or that similar, and I think they should. I
mean, you could have had a Skaven space army easily.
Yeah, I mean, even if they, do you know what I think they should have personally done is like done an alien race which was like, but like Tyranids, like it was a totally monster, like monsters and stuff, but done it totally differently again, like just flipped it around and been like, okay, well, what are they like? Like, what can we envisage out of this? Can they, like, obviously the Tyranids are all about adaptations and stuff, and maybe we've got a race that is they don't use guns and stuff. They literally all they use is like, I don't know, like maybe like the warp, or they use magic or whatever they use. They just use that, and they've got really weird powers and stuff like that. They could have done anything really, like anything at all. Like maybe just an alien race, which they can go kind of use their creative freedom and go, we can make whatever we want. There's no like, they're not humanoid, they're not linked to just devouring stuff and eating stuff and adaptations. They can just do whatever they want. And that would have been better than doing something like Votan, which is like, they are like the dwarf people and they do have guns and they do stuff. So that's kind of how I just think there was a missed opportunity if you're going to release a race, a new one. Just do something that is you can be as creatively free as you want, because no one, like everyone's used to people with guns that fire laser beams out of their tanks and whatever.
I know it's going to be cringed at, but I want my Space Skaven. I want Space Skaven to be a thing. Space Rats or some madness like that. Captain Bucky O'Hare or some shit. I don't care. So just give me some sort of furry thing.
I tell you what would be funny. Like imagine like
furry fire.
Oh, jeez, God. Not your ass again. Imagine like Space Skaven versus Space or like as in Orcs. How fucking funny that would be. Like, imagine the books as well. The books itself. Like imagine the comedy you get out of the books as well. There'd be some of the. You could write a book where it was like one chapter is like the Orcs point of view, and then one chapter is the Skaven point of view, and it'd be about the same thing. It'd be absolutely fucking hilarious, wouldn't it? That would be great. That'd be great.
I think you are right. They have missed a trick in not introducing something new. But let's face it, the last time they did something new, it was the Tau. And even to this day, there's still complaints that they don't fit. The aesthetic's not right. They're not 40k, and that's been nearly 20 years, 25 years.
Yeah,
so,
no, exactly. I don't know, which I don't get either, because like Tower like very like 40k really, like they're like very gun and stuff.
Yeah, they've grown on me. They have grown on me a lot in the last sort of couple of years of coming back into it. Originally, when I saw them, I only liked the battle suits.
Yeah,
because back then I loved Japanese and like Pat Labor and all of that mad mecha animation stuff, and I was into that. And it's taken a little while for me to like the rest of it, but I still think it's something that, like you say, it must have been a 9th edition rulebook. There was a page, and it must have had like an Iron Warrior on it, but then there was like some weird little dog thing, some floating drone things with like metal heads shooting lasers out of them and stuff.
Yeah.
It looked like the most creative page where they've just said to someone, draw what you want.
Yeah.
And this person's gone mental and come up with loads of different ideas, and they've looked and gone, right, and just done nothing with it.
Yeah, I guess I think obviously everyone talks about like the artwork from yesteryear and like John Blanche's stuff, and I don't know, the Army Painter have just done like some really cool paints for John Blanche, for example.
And brilliant AI stuff out there.
Exactly. And there's some absolutely amazing bits and pieces out there. But I think like if you've got these amazing artists who get to do your stuff and they're making up some creative stuff, maybe they'll release some stuff and they'll be like, oh yeah, that was from a book like 3, 4, 5 years ago. We're releasing some models now, or whatever. But like the Tower, they talk about how like they're really kind of they assimilate with loads of different alien races. You're like, okay, maybe if you don't release a new race, that's your race. You can go, we can get loads of really cool models out of this. Like we've done the crew, we've done the rampages now, we've done some other cool stuff. Like that's where you expand the range like quite nicely. You can get some really cool like creative stuff out of it.
Yeah.
Are they being shackled? I'd love to know. I'd love to know. I'd speak to the people making the models and see whether or not they're being shackled. I think that would be you never get an honest answer, obviously, but that would be really good to maybe speak to someone who, after they've maybe left GW and who does sculpt the stuff, and see what actually they're being told is the remit in terms of what are we allowed to do, what we're not allowed to do, what have we got to make, or is it just kind of do what you want? So yeah.
One thing I'd love to see in 40k is like obviously in Ages of Sigmar you've got Cities of Sigmar, and like it's the free cities kind of thing, like the free peoples of Sigmar. Like I'd love to see them do something like that within 40k. So have you guys seen The Expanse?
Yeah.
So you've got the I haven't seen it in such a long time. The massive thing that's orbiting the planet where you've got like people have just fucked up accents because everyone goes there. But essentially, we want. I think 40k should have a faction where it's just a mix of everything, just a mix of certain things that go together. So you have your Tau, your Eldar, and your Orc maybe, and like something that combines them together. Like there might be a certain unit type or a certain HQ model that you can kind of group together your own individual armies.
Like
kind of thing.
you could do that in a kill team, like a kind of band of misfits. So you'd
Yeah.
like maybe have like a space marine who's like a bit mental, a couple of orcs who think they're humans, and a couple of fucking Skaven, and maybe a fucking Tau who thinks he's on a secret mission or something. You could have like kind of misfit.
The best thing I can think of at that is the old school fantasy, old world stuff. They had basically mercenary armies. Yeah.
Dogs of War.
The old because there was an orc unit in it, there was goblins in it, there was mostly humans, but then occasionally you'd pop up with like, here's a random dark Eldar, whatever they were, not dark Eldar, the dark elves on the lizards, and just stuff like that. And that worked so well because it was just, here's a mini with a treasure chest, and they're all fighting because he's got money.
Yeah.
That's the perfect way of doing it.
Yeah. No, and I think like literally that would be such a cool aspect for especially a lot of narrative players within 40k. Like, not that competitive's bad or anything like that, but like for me, when I play anything on like tabletop, it's always from a narrative and always a fun kind of thing that we're doing. Like, what's the story behind it, or like just have a bit of banter and a laugh for like reasons why we're doing it. Like, last Middle Earth game we played is like we just purposely aimed. Well, the guys that were playing trolls were purposely aiming to throw the dwarves in the river. Strategically, didn't work. Like, didn't need to do that at all. But that was the aim. That was the aim of what they wanted to do. But yeah, it's good. I like it. I think 40k should definitely like try and do a mix of things.
Inject a little bit of fun back into it, almost.
Yeah, definitely.
I think would be the best way of saying it, because it's become so focused on being a competitive tournament-based game. It's lost its. I wouldn't say it's lost its way, but it's just changed its flavour a little bit.
Yeah.
How many people do you know that play like Crusade stuff? No, like no one. Like, it's a really good idea. I love the idea. When Crusade came out, I was like, that's a cracking idea. Trying to get a game, unless you've got like a group of mates that all live locally and like all right for doing it, never happening. Like, it's all designed to be. I think it's not helped with the scale of the tournaments and stuff now being like getting to say that the World Championships and that type of stuff. Great that we've got a hobby which has got a World Championship and that type of thing, and it's becoming really big and becoming more recognised as a really cool thing to lean into. But I think it definitely has the issue of like you because you've got those aspirations of like LVO's coming up, you've got Nova, you've got LGT, you've got all the other GTs you've got in the UK, and everywhere the team tournaments now, which are amazing. Like if I was going to go back and play competitive 40k, I'd probably do team tournaments right with a team of people. But there's all that now, and I think there is definitely, it's almost seen a bit like Magic the Gathering, where it's like collect all the cards, go to tournaments, and that's how it's kind of almost been done. And I suppose it kind of does fit the business model for Games Workshop if you're looking from a business point of view, because if you've got those people wanting to play competitive, they want the best models. And if you keep changing the rules about all the different models every so many months, they have to keep buying new models, or they sell models and they buy models and that type of thing. So there's a benefit from that point of view. So it's actually within their interest to have these loads of tournament players playing, because they're always going to keep changing what they buy or buying new models and stuff like that. Because as we all know, the brand new models are always the best models before they nerf them. There's very few models that come out that are rubbish. Mainly the AdMech ones, like the Secretary fucking geezer on the stilts, who also was shit when it came out. And
I get so much hate for that. Absolutely no reason. I went, that's a sniper. You can see him fucking 10 miles away. And then some guy jumped on it and went, oh, how would you feel that if you put blood, sweat and tears? I was like, I'd be well happy that the thing that I designed is actually printed.
Yeah.
And who gives a fuck if some fat guy in Donegal is hating on it, like?
Yeah.
And he just went to town thinking, oh, how would you feel? I'd be well happy. I'm still getting paid, like.
Mate, it's hilarious. Go on, Sean, sorry, mate.
No, I'm saying exactly. I completely agree.
Yeah.
Can I just ask you one question, guys, right? What colour are your ceilings?
What?
Ceilings. What colour are your ceilings?
What colour
well,
are the ceilings? I thought I needed an international relations officer. And I was like, what? What's that?
what color are your ceilings?
Yeah. What are your weapons?
Mine are magnolia.
Oh, fuck
I would say.
off. Mine are white.
And Casey, what is the colour of your ceiling?
Wait. Ready?
So my ceiling
Orange.
is orange, which brings us
Look at
nicely
that.
to our sponsor of orange brushes, which I'm actually
Yeah.
holding the wrong way up so you can't see them because I'm an idiot. There we go. They're that way around. So they have 5 different brushes. They are all Kolinsky Sable. They're all very reasonably priced, and our guests have them as well. Won't you look at that?
Yeah.
Go to orangebrushes.co.uk. I can't remember the website now. It's we spam it loads. Enter the code word Inquisition at checkout. Get 10% off and enjoy them. They are lovely brushes.
Can you tell me that now? I bought these fucking full price. Fuck me.
We've been banging this on for nearly like 6 months.
Oh, I mean, to be fair, these brushes are fucking lovely. Just to clarify, and there's not me plugging them. Like I bought these off my own back, and they are. I'm gonna do like a review for brushlickers, obviously, because we leak brushes. And I'm painting up.
You need to bring them on as well because they are fucking too cracking lads. And the funny thing is, even though all the tips are colour coded, one of them is colourblind.
I fucking love that. That's so good.
Didn't see that.
That's so good.
Coming.
Will.
Hey.
To be fair, like my brother-in-law's colourblind. This is a bit of a random story.
Say blind. Mate.
My brother-in-law's colourblind, and we do football training and stuff, and we play football and stuff. And we quite often we have like get the cones out, and it's like you have to run to this colour cone, and we always send them the wrong colour. Just to wind them up. But on serious note, I'm painting my King Theoden just using these, just so I can kind of do a proper review. So I'm literally just using those. I've got a size 2 and a size 3.
Yep.
And they are beautiful. The tips on them are really, really nice. They're so precise. And if anyone who's ever painted Lord of the Rings models, they're a lot smaller than like 40k and AOS models. So they have to be really precise about how you get into stuff. And they're so far, I'm actually like mega impressed. And I bought a lot of brushes. I've got like a lot of the Artis Opus ones as well. And I would say they're just as good, if not better, than the Artis Opus ones I've got. To be perfectly honest with you. They're really good brushes. Really good brushes.
Quote that. Better than Artis Opus. There you go.
Yeah. I don't think Byron's going to be massively happy that I said that, but yeah.
You don't watch that, fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Okay, cool. Sorry, Byron.
Byron, I like your brushes. If you want to send me some.
All right, Ren boy.
But man, you should try and get the boys on because they are funny. Like, they are good lads as well.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, I mean, we're looking forward to actually getting
guests, haven't we?
Yeah. Definitely. That's our aim, is to get a few more guests on, get a few more things on. We've been pretty good at making sure, like even throughout the year, like we've technically done like 1 episode a month. Still, we've been able to keep up with that. We'd like to do more, but obviously sometimes it's just like based on what's going on in our lives. Like there's always something. There's either something breaking, or one of the kids has been ill quite often, or I've been at work. I've been traveling with work or whatever. So it's been like one of those. So we've done okay, but we do want to get guests on. We spoke to quite a few people about coming on. So yeah, we hope to have some cool guests over the next few months, years, decades.
Anybody big coming on?
Well,
me and the big man himself.
What Henry Cavill? Yeah, he keeps on the blag that he reckons he's going to get Henry Cavill on. He's like convinced.
Can you actually imagine? Can you imagine if all this blagging turned out to do something?
You know what?
Yeah.
Don't even knock it, because I tried getting Mia McAlver on when she started posting about Warhammer. I was like, yeah, come on then, you know what you're chatting about. And I got ignored. But you don't shoot your shot, you don't get it. So, you know.
The thing, right?
Well, when I saw him earlier, I was like, oh, tonight Henry. And he's like, Sean, I'm just a normal geezer. I'm like, all right, mate, fine, all right. I'll wait. When you're ready, we're not going to pressure you. You come on, all right? Very laid back set.
to be fair, when his own little one comes along, he'll be dad hammering too. So no, he'll definitely fit into our aesthetic. He'll be all over it. So maybe that's what
He'll probably have a nanny in or something, won't he?
No, I reckon he's very hands on. What do you reckon?
Well,
He's not getting.
Yeah, I reckon he'll be.
probably.
Yeah. He'll be in there. There'll be posts all over like, "Look at me, I'm changing a nappy." It's like, all right, Henry. We're dads as well.
Why painting a custodian at the same time?
Yeah.
Just like one hand there, one hand there.
Baby like that.
I'm playing World of Warcraft with his toes at the same time as well.
Yeah, 100%. What a guy. Legends. The chosen one.
Apart from obviously, Henry Cavill's everybody's like top guest to come on, and I think we'd all like to have Lewitton. I just don't know how to contact him. He doesn't even read my comments in every video that he posts up. But who would you ideally like to have on? Like, who would be your top tier guest?
Kim Jong-un.
He's dead.
Hey, I've heard the rumor that he's painted every single army. Did you know that? He's got every army and he's painted all of them. That's actually true. That's a true story about Kim Jong-un.
Has he just painted some random division of his in blue and just painted an ultramarine symbol on their arm and got, there you go, your ultramarines.
It's like he played a round of golf and got a hole in one every hole. He's got every army and he's painted every army. Just so that is not a rumour, that's true, okay? Who would you want to get on? Joe, I'd actually love to get on. Only because
I'm already in, mate.
Apart from Sean, I'd love to get Dan Abnett.
Yeah.
Would you?
Yeah, mate. I'm a massive Tanner fan. Like I'm a proper fanboy. I'm gonna have like a little shrine to Tanner stuff when I want to get a shelf put up. I've got a collection of loads of stuff. I think I'd love to get Dan Abnett, and I wouldn't even mention the Siege of Terror. I wouldn't even talk about it. It wouldn't even be fucking mentioned. I mean, it'll be like, so when's the next Gaunt's Ghost movie thing's coming out? I just love it. I think it'd be really good, but not purely from a 40k point of view, or even like Warhammer. Just like talk to him about. He's a fantastic author, and just how he writes things is so cool. Not eyes. He's got even Eisenhower and stuff like that. But like Dan Abnett would be really cool.
He's done some Doctor Who stuff as well, if I remember rightly. And
yeah,
he's done some other.
He's actually he lives actually not a million miles from where I live. And I'm like, desperately hoping I'm going to bump into him one day as a result.
He was doing the viewing, wasn't he, at your local Warhammer? But you was away.
Yeah. So he was. So there's one of my local Warhammer stores. I'm in between like three of them. I'm in between Chatham, Maidstone, and Canterbury, where I live. And he's local to the Maidstone one, and they get him in like every now and then to start do stuff. So they've got him to do some book signing. And it was when I was away on holiday. Dan Abnett was in fucking Maidstone, which is like 20 minutes from my house, and I was devastated because I was gonna like get all of my Gaunt's Ghost books and just like bump them on and go like, Dan, please sign them all, like please
get all of your Gaunt, like all of your like TANF troops and get them to sign the bases individually.
Individually. Like this might take a while, Dan, but he's very active in and around the area, going to like bits and pieces. So I'm hoping to catch him at some point. But I'd love to have Dan on at some point. In terms of, I don't know, like Sean, who do you want to get on?
I've always said I would absolutely, but I wouldn't want to do it. I wouldn't want to do it virtually. I'd want to do it in person. Is Mini Wargaming Dave?
Yeah, that'd be good.
Mini Wargaming Dave, absolute hobby hero of mine.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'd love to do that. Love to get him on, and I don't know who else there would be. There's so many like people in the communities. Like
we've got like I've got like a little list of stuff like people we're gonna ask and stuff like that. Like we've been quite lucky because we've been asked a few people and I've just said yes, and then we know quite a few people. But I'd love to get like Louise on, not Louise Southton on. Yeah. I'd love to get Louise on. I think she'd be lovely.
I've asked Peachy about her. He just says that she doesn't like to do things where she's not in control of.
Yeah,
which is understandable.
Yeah, no, definitely, which I totally get. And I think obviously it all depends on how you do it, and I think that it totally makes sense in that sense. I think also we've had Peach on twice, and Peach is such a great guy, and you've had him on as well. He's so funny, so like, genuine.
I love Peach.
Yeah, he's such a great guy. But obviously we've chatted to Pat. You've had obviously Pat on recently. I think you respect to Pat, and Pat's amazing, and we've had Jeff. Jeff is amazing. Like, I actually love to get Jeff back on. To be fair,
I'd love to get Pat and Jeff back on. I'd like if we could do
Yeah.
both at the same time. That'd be decent. That'd be really
Yeah.
good.
That would be quite cool. Do that. Yeah, there's a few people. We talked about Ed, like Sam and Ed, didn't we, as well, about getting him on, all this stuff.
Yeah, he was up for it. It's just us trying to find time. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he said yes. He's now obviously doing all of these. He's got like over 100K on fucking YouTube now. Go on, Ed.
Yeah.
Absolute legends. So yeah, just finding time, obviously, especially for us two fucking dweebs having kids, makes it kind of a bit easier. He's like, I stream on these nights, and we're like, we've got kids, so no.
Your fellow game isn't as strong as what you thought, lads. Do you know what I mean?
No, we're really good.
Is it a game?
We get him to say yes, and then we just go, oh, we've only got a bicycle. That's the problem. But yeah, no, hopefully we'll get some. We've got a couple of them trying to, so we'll see how it goes. We've been very lucky with guests. We've got some really, really cool people on.
I think the biggest thing, is getting out there, trying to get actually in person with as many people as possible.
Yeah.
The biggest one for us was last year and will be again this year. Salute.
Yeah.
I missed you guys. I was there last year. I don't think I caught you.
Sean made it.
I was there.
Yeah, I'm coming this year
on some kind of duties.
I was pissed as a fart. So if you did see me, I would have just probably have forgotten. But
it's literally it's always manic. It's getting bigger and bigger every year, which is amazing. I absolutely love to see that. It's brilliant. And I always recommend Salute because it's just such a brilliant vibe all round. And it's just really good laugh and decent deals as well. All loads of traders there, always willing to give a good deal out. And like this year, last year they had the bloody medieval weaponry show, like geezers bashing the shit out of each other in armour. Oh well, that was pretty decent, mate.
Yeah, like I say, I met up with someone, Cattle Rabbit Scale Model Studios on here, and we met up early. We looked at the queue picture and we were like, "Oh fuck, waiting in that." So we just went and sat in a pub for 2 hours for the queue to die down and got absolutely battered.
Yeah,
and it was still a good day out though.
Yeah, no, definitely. And then finally, the pilgrimage.
I was hoping that Case was going to do some sort of kind of Dennis Pennis sort of like ambition people into it, but you never.
No, I didn't. I bottled it because I was drunk, and I know my luck I would have walked up to Louise Sugden and said, like just actually not said anything, just gone pulled a face and run off. So I just thought, didn't want to risk it.
Yeah, that's fair. That could have been. I mean, at least you would have been mentioned. They'd be like, this idiot. And you'd be like, I was the idiot. That was me. That was me.
Much. I'm the one getting arrested and carted off.
You're escorted. Thank you very much. I think we're doing Salute this year, and we want to do Warhammer World as well at some point as well.
Cool.
So that'd be cool. I think, to be fair, I'm probably the more awkward one because I still play I've given up playing football in the last season, so I've had a lot more time this winter, but I still play cricket in the summer. So my Saturdays quite a lot of time are taken up with playing cricket still, which Sean looks at me in disgust and just shakes his head quite often. But
fucking cricket.
You're proper posh, man.
You got to understand what trumpet is to understand cricket.
Oh yeah, I'm the poshest guy around, you know.
Exactly. Fucking
not.
Cricket, you're laughing, yeah. It's not a sport.
Good world, sport, mate. Any sport where you get to sit in the sun and drink when you failed is a great sport.
Darts, mate. I am gonna. My kids, my girls are gonna be the new Luke Littlers of the world. Going stand on a fucking pissing rainy football pitch in the winter. I'm going to the pub and they're gonna throw darts at the ball.
Mate, I don't know if anyone's seen that, but if anyone's watched this back and you want to see a very funny comment on probably the funniest comment I've ever seen on Twitter or Facebook, that is the best one ever. There's a guy who goes, I spend every Saturday and Sunday in the freezing cold rain watching my son play football. Luke Littler's dad took him down the pub and now he's world champion at 17.
My son's 17 as well, and I'm looking at him, and it's a fight to get him to the fucking dishes, and I'm like, he's just fucking won the world championships. He's fucking knob end
off as well.
I mean, the only thing he's winning at the World Championships at 17 is probably wanking into a pillow. To be perfectly honest with you, that's be real. So that's the only thing he's going to compete in. That's brilliant.
Very, very nice pillow now.
Fancy pillow.
It's ducking down. Thank you very much.
Is it memory foam? Is it memory foam? That's the problem. It's got too many memories in it.
Oh,
Jesus. So, if there's one model, this is a question I like to ask. If there's one model that you would like to repaint from the start or paint again for the first time, what model would it be?
Oh, that's so hard. John, can you go first?
honestly, for me, I don't like repainting models. I'm
sure you barely paint models in the first place.
For me, I like the job being done. I like the army done. So the model I'd repaint is if it's an infantry model that I forcefully have to repaint because like it's just a copy. It's a copy of the other model. So I'm painting it multiple times. But once I'm done, that's it. I wouldn't really go back to one. But one model that I would like to paint is an old school Bretonnian model, the Green Knight. That's probably one of my most favourite models to ever exist, really. But yeah, I've never painted one, so I'd like to paint it. Repaint, fucking mental.
Maybe Matt's got one in his box of tricks. He's got one in his garage.
No,
he'll lure me into the garage with it. No, I haven't. It'll be like the Green Knight on a little stool, ready to go, and I'd get like a massive net chucked over me.
That's how it happens. That's how. Just put you in the dungeon after.
I'll see you in 20.
Tell you about a kid recently. Just trying to think. What did I repaint? Do you know what? The one mod I probably would repaint, looking at the things I've painted. I got a commission Wolf Lord made from By the Fang. I don't know if he's still active on like Instagram and stuff. If you're into Space Wolves or like kind of corrosion stuff, I got a commission done for him because my Space Wolves are Sons of Mordecai, so it's like it's one of the chapters, but it's not one of the well-known ones. And I basically gave him an idea, and he's basically made me the Eric Morcar, which is like the chapter master, and I painted it a long time ago, and I feel like I painted it pretty well, but I feel like I could paint it better now, if you know what I mean. Yeah. So I just feel like, and bearing in mind he's like my chapter master for my Space Walls, I feel like I could maybe do a better job now than what I've done, and I probably would like to maybe do it, but because it's like commissioned and it's like loads of green stuff and bits and bits like that, I don't know if I can strip it and repaint it. So because the green stuff on that, and I don't want to ruin it. So it's very much that it is what it is. It's now stuck as it is, and I love it. And I've got like I based it really nicely, and I've got like one of them really cool. I don't know, I can't remember the company now, but the ones where they do you get like the name tags. You can get the name tags for your base, and you stick them on. I bought a couple of those as well. So just to really kind of do it. But yeah, I'd love to repaint that now that I feel like I can paint like 2% better than I could back when I painted it, if you know what I mean. So just because I've got a bit more experience and stuff. So yeah, probably go with that, I would say.
Yeah.
Yes, I think it's probably the best time to call it there because Casey wants to go and watch The Traitors. He was
dear Christ, yeah, no, I want to watch that as well, to be fair, mate. Like, my missus will be having my guts for gutters. It's Traitor Night. Let's go.
I'm not
I was wondering if I could berate Peggy there as well.
No, we're not berating him. If anything, could let's just fucking call it. It's been great, but like I think it would be good. A Warhammer people, traitors, that would be good. Right, new game. Right, we'll maybe we'll do another thing for this. The traitors, but with Warhammer people, put the characters from Warhammer. Who'd win? Can't be Arthurius. He'd obviously win, but
Erebus he's a cunt.
I think that's already been won. It's Lorgar, isn't it? Yeah, he's won it.
Oh, Lord would be good at spreading the word.
Yeah.
But people would hate
Erebus is his puppet master though, so I don't know. Casey, do you have any words of wisdom before we wrap it up? And before Sean tries to come back in?
I have no words of wisdom for 2025. It's been lovely to get you guys on. We'll definitely have you on again at some point in the year. If you're ever short of guests and you need someone, me and Dunk are always happy to jump in.
Don't you worry, you've been added to the queue.
Hopefully,
when I say queue, there's no queue, so you're near the front.
Get the meat count tickets out. Off we go.
It's entry only. Get your IDs ready, please.
Yeah, guys, thanks very much for coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on. Folks, we'll see you next week on Twitch, YouTube, or whatever.
Yes.
We've still to decide. And thanks for joining us tonight.
Have
a great rest of your night, folks. Au revoir.
Bye, everyone. Thank you so much. Cheers. Thank you. Bye-bye.